Tonight, the state confirms dozens more coronavirus cases at Triad living facilities, the latest from all 7 spots.
Your questions about stimulus checks keep pouring in. We've got the answers and some expert insight. Plus, crowded parking lots at 2 major Triad stores, Hobby Lobby and Goodwill back open. A look at how just ahead.
We begin with a Triad business that's decided to defy state orders. The owner says he's desperate.
2 Wants to Know's Kevin Kennedy digs into the controversial decision and the possibility of consequences.
Walk around most downtowns in North Carolina, and you quickly see there is an emptiness to the streets and storefronts. This quiet, almost lonely view is in many ways the reason for all this. Reopen NC is a group with about 75,000 members, many small business owners who want our state to allow them to get back to work.
North Carolina demands its rights restored in full and the ability to open our businesses, access our property, go to our houses of worship without fear of arrest or losing our licenses. During
the most recent rally on Tuesday, Reopen NC founder Ashley Smith urged owners to defy the executive order and open their doors to customers. This Wilkesboro jewelry store did.
I've been renting this space for 29 years.
The owner allowing a few customers in at a time, all his employees wearing masks.
We're letting special order customers. We've been closed for 7 weeks. We've had enough.
The obvious question once open is, will the owner be cited or the store shut down?
Can I help you?
We reached out to the chief of police.
We're not going to have a hard, heavy-handed approach to this. If you call that compassion, I guess that's what it is.
The executive order does not actually mention jewelry stores, so we then reached out to the Wilkesboro town manager.
If the executive order 120 specifically notes his type of business as an activity that needs to shut them doors, then we're going to go over there and shut his doors.
News 2 has learned an officer with the police department went by the store after we left, but we don't know if it was still open for the day. The store is scheduled to open at 10 on Saturday, and as of now, it can.
The town of Wilkesboro at this point is going to allow the business to remain open. On Monday, I will be reaching out to the governor's office for better clarification so that way we do have an answer when other businesses step forward.
But until then, the store can stay open. In Wilkesboro, Kevin Kennedy, 2 Wants to Know.
The town manager tells us the fire inspector will go by the business tomorrow. They'll make sure the business as well as the customers are following social distancing guidelines.
Well, check out the crowd outside Hobby Lobby in Greensboro. The arts and crafts chain reopened several Triad locations today. Greensboro police told us store officials were in touch with the state. The state says since Hobby Lobby sells products associated with essential businesses, they're good to go. For example, fabric and cloth to make face masks. The stores must follow social distancing rules, and right now customers are let in through just one entrance, and the max capacity is 250 people.
Triad Goodwill reopened some of its stores today. The state now considers Goodwill an essential business, but the store does have some new rules in place. Customers must be at least 6 feet apart and are expected to wear masks. Plenty of signs will remind shoppers.
We're taking this very slowly. It's not your typical shopping environment. It's not your typical donating experience. And for those that need our career development services, it's virtual.
Employees will take touchless donations and they'll be screened every day. At-risk staff won't return just yet.
2 more North Carolina malls say they plan to reopen next week. Concord Mills and South Park Mall in Charlotte say that staff will start cleaning and preparing next Friday. They hope to have customers come through their doors when the governor gives the okay. Shoppers must follow social distancing guidelines. Some in Charlotte would like for more places to reopen. Protesters drove through the streets of Uptown today, honking horns and waving flags for hours. They say the demonstration wasn't just about getting back to normal. It's about the thousands who've lost their jobs since the pandemic began.
More local workers are out of a job tonight. Norfolk Southern furloughed 85 of its workers today. The company says its business is struggling, so it's cutting operations at the Linwood terminal in Davidson County. Employees can apply for other positions within the company. Another Triad nursing home is dealing with an outbreak of coronavirus. Today we've learned there are 14 cases at White Oak Manor in Burlington. 12 are residents, 2 are staff members. Management haven't said whether patients were showing symptoms, but they did send us a statement saying those residents are being cared for in accordance with CDC guidelines. We're conducting contact tracing. As we move forward, we will continue to monitor and assess residents and staff that could need further testing.
White Oak is one of several living facility outbreaks in the Triad. State health officials released new information on all of them today, so let's get through them each quickly. Starting in Guilford County, Camden Health and Rehab now has 29 confirmed cases. 6 are residents, 23 are staff, and the center confirmed 2 deaths yesterday. Over in Pleasant Garden, Claps Nursing Center also has 29 confirmed cases. 16 are residents, 1 of them has died. 13 employees tested positive. Now to Vera Springs at Heritage Greens in Greensboro. The facility has 13 total cases. 4 are residents, 9 are staff. There are no deaths. Rudd Farm in Greensboro has 8 cases. The popular Strawberry Farm is considered a living facility because several workers live on the property. It closed last week after reporting multiple coronavirus cases among the staff. Now to Lexington, where we find the Triad facility with the most cases. Alston Brook confirms 56 cases. 41 are residents, 6 of them have died, 15 staff members also have the virus. And lastly, in Randolph County, Universal Healthcare confirms 3 coronavirus cases. 2 are residents and 1 is a staff member.
The state is developing new ways for you to track coronavirus cases in your area. Check out this map. The health department posted it, organizing cases by zip code. That way you're able to see how many cases and deaths have come from your area. It is color coordinated too. The darker the blue, the more cases in that region. State lawmakers are making the final adjustments to our state's relief bill. The House and the Senate have their own versions of the bill, so now they've got a compromise. Republican leaders say they've reached an agreement to use about $1.5 billion, less than half of what the feds gave our state. Lawmakers say they don't want to use all the money at once because new issues could arise as the situation develops. House and Senate lawmakers will continue their discussions tomorrow.
The feds also sending relief to people across the country. Maybe you already got your stimulus check, maybe you didn't. We know you have questions. WFMY News 2's Alma McCarty got answers to some of the biggest ones.
If you haven't gotten your stimulus check in the mail or direct deposited into your bank account, you might be wondering at this point, where is it? Well, I can't give you a personal timeline, but I can give you the tools to find out. I enlisted the help of Mark Hensley with AARP, one of our experts when it comes to all things stimulus money.
I can't reiterate enough that this is a stimulus payment to stimulate the economy to give peace of mind to U.S. citizens to have additional funds to spend during this really unprecedented time.
Whether or not you've received stimulus money, there are 2 common questions. Are taxes taken out before we get the money? And do we have to pay it back? The answer to both, a resounding no.
This is a gift. It is not taxable income.
Are people on disability or Social Security eligible? Answer, yes. And what if you don't have an income, so you don't file taxes?
They are also eligible. They must let the IRS know that they're out there.
You can see your payment status on the website, irs.gov. On the Get My Payment page, you'll enter your name, address, and Social Security number. From there, you'll find out if the payment has been processed and how you'll receive it, or if you need to provide more information. If you're seeing payment status not available, keep checking back. Hensley says the database is updated every evening.
But it's a developing story. It's unprecedented in the scope, the size, and the funding that's going out. So there's obviously going to be glitches.
If you've got questions, don't plan on calling. The IRS has not set up a phone number. Instead, try checking the frequently asked questions section on the IRS website.
Alma, thank you. On this first day of the month, you probably have a rent or mortgage payment due, and this month might be harder to pay than normal, so we got some advice.
If you're having trouble making your rent payments, you should contact your landlord and discuss with them possible workout arrangements, delayed payment or something like that. Your landlord has been asked by the governor and government officials to try to work with your tenants. That doesn't mean they have to, but your landlord might be is in the best position to work with you compared to anyone else.
We have more advice about making your dollar stretch in the 2 Wants to Know section of our website.
The FDA is allowing the emergency use of Remdesivir. It's an experimental drug that appears to help some coronavirus patients recover faster. Experts say the drug, which is being tested in animals at UNC, has been shown to shorten the recovery time about 4 days.
We want to make sure nothing gets in the way of these patients getting the medicine, so we made a decision to donate about 1.5 million vials of Remdesivir.
We want to remind you, no drugs have been approved yet for treating the coronavirus. This drug is still in the clinical trial phase. The coronavirus has left millions of people without jobs. For others, it's changing the job they do.
WFMY News 2's Marissa Tancito met a man who went from athletic trainer to supply chain practically overnight.
Matthew Fortune used to work in a Novant Health and Rehab Center, but when the coronavirus forced him to put his training equipment down, he decided to pick up PPE and make sure his frontline colleagues have what they need to help save lives and stay safe.
Initially, I was pretty naive, thinking, oh, I'm in healthcare, I'm in rehab, I'm safe. Like, it's not going to affect me.
It didn't take Matthew Fortune long to find out that wasn't the case.
As they analyzed more and kind of got more information out, they realized a lot of what I do is kind of what they want to prevent as far as fitness centers.
At the end of March, the clinical athletic trainer said he was told he could no longer do his job at Novant Health Sports Performance and Rehab. But thanks to company protocol, he was able to apply for another internal position.
Thursday morning, I got a call saying that supply chain needed people to help out and assist.
Fortune is now sorting through shipments of masks, gowns, and other personal protective equipment and delivering them to hospital workers. The supply center at Forsyth Medical Center is operating around the clock, something supply chain manager Angie Henderson said is an adjustment.
Novant Health is fully prepared with the supplies that we need to get through this pandemic. We're handling it well, and we're here to take care of any and all needs for our patients and our nurses and doctors.
I really see them as the lifeblood of the hospital, right? So their job is to make sure that those supplies are pumping out at an appropriate pace and getting to the right locations.
Fortune will stay in supply chain until he can return to his old job.
All right, getting cooler out there, going to be a bit of a chilly night of weather for us, but this is the only part of the weekend that's going to be chilly, that's for sure. Temperatures right now in the upper 40s in Greensboro, but low to mid 50s elsewhere. We'll all be waking up to some mid 40s early tomorrow morning. Something else that has left us by, remember it was a gusty day of wind. Those winds are gone. Tomorrow is not a windy day of weather. What it is a sunny day, and we'll have a lot of sunshine to go along. Remember, it's a cool morning in the mid 40s early in the day, but warming very nicely. We'll be near 70 by the lunchtime hour, topping out right around 75. It's about a perfect day. Lots of sun right around the mid 70s. I'm calling for a high temperature of 76 degrees. You can hold me to that for Saturday, but coming up, we're going to talk about how much warmer it gets. This is just step one tomorrow. We're going to do better than that by Sunday. That full forecast, including the 7-day, which has some more cool weather too, that's coming up.
Charges are expected after a domestic dispute leads to an officer-involved shooting in Greensboro. Investigators say 62-year-old Tamala Scott barricaded herself inside of a home on Gilmore Street this morning. Police say Scott eventually came outside and confronted police with a gun, and that's when an officer fired, hitting her at least once. She is expected to be okay. The search is on for a hit-and-run driver after two cars collided just after 11 o'clock this morning on Old US 52 in Davidson County. One of them went off the road, then hit a woman walking on the shoulder. The driver of the Dodge Charger then took off. Troopers are looking for the Charger that may have Florida plates and damage to the left front. The woman who was hit is expected to be okay.
We're learning more about the possible consequences for the kids accused of stealing a lot of cars in Winston-Salem. The state says the kids' parents could face charges too. You'll remember Winston-Salem police say 19 kids ranging in age from 16 down to 9 stole 46 vehicles from a dozen dealerships. The state's juvenile justice department told me parents could face fines, civil penalties, even jail time. Just 4 of the kids accused are in custody.
You'll soon get Amazon deliveries quicker. The fulfillment center in Kernersville will open in late summer. That's months ahead of schedule. The center will create 1,000 new jobs. Amazon says the earlier opening is not connected to the coronavirus or the recent increase in deliveries. However, the recent spike in orders prompted the company to hire about 4,000 new workers all across North Carolina.
If you thought graduating college at 99 years old was impressive, you'd be right. But wait until you see what this Winston-Salem State grad has planned for tomorrow, an even bigger milestone. Plus, a birthday celebration for a survivor, how a Triad pastor's congregation celebrated his recovery from coronavirus. It's next.